Today is going to be a very simple video. I'm only going to give you 2 exercises to help me to unlock the 90-degree hold. When I first did it, I did it by pure luck. I didn't actually train for it. I trained for the elbow lever and I trained for a handstand into an elbow lever, those negatives, and eventually that built the strength for me to hold the 90-degree position. The difference between the elbow lever and the 90-degree hold is just your elbow placement. With the elbow lever, you're resting on your elbows and your elbows are pressed against your tummy, whereas with a 90-degree hold, you're having your elbows by your side without any contact. You can scale it to your level by squeezing the elbows closer to your body, so you do have a contact, which makes the exercise easier, and you can slide it either further back in, so you're resting on your elbows more, and that also makes the exercise easier. So the cool thing about that you can always challenge yourself by keeping the elbows a little bit further out or bring it back in for more support. I already made a video on how to do the elbow lever. You can check out that video in here. And that's an exercise you might be able to unlock very quickly. It's gonna keep you hyped up because it's such a cool skill to do, and it's gonna motivate you to learn harder skills as well. The other exercise I practiced, as I mentioned, was a handstand to an elbow lever. To do that skill, you do require a little bit more shoulder strength. So I think you should be able to do a few wall-assisted handstand push-ups, preferably facing the wall, because that's going to be more relatable to the exercise that you're about to learn. I think the exercise not only helped me with the 90-degree hold, but also helped me with the handstand push-ups, because you're constantly practicing a handstand push-up negative. So you're able to control it all the way down, and eventually you build the strength to press back up, which is easier said than done. It took me a long time to be able to press up, but there are other exercises how to master that and how to build the strength to be able to press up to that. I can link a video for that too. I made a video, it's a 12 months plan for you to learn the handstand push-ups, but there are other videos on the channel as well, and I'm sure other people made lots of videos too, so you can check out different videos to see where you're lacking at and what you need to work on to build that strength. Like most floor exercises in calisthenics, this one is also easier on the parallel bars or mini bars. If you do it on the floor, it's still manageable, but you do have to turn your wrist out, which makes it so much harder. And the same applies with the negative portion of this exercise too. So the handstand into an elbow lever. You start from normal handstand position. Usually your hands are facing forwards, maybe slightly turned out. Whereas when you start leaning forward, you have to turn your wrist out, which is really difficult to do it on the floor. So for that reason, we're going to do this exercise on the parallels today. You don't have to use these high bars. You can use those lower ones as well. The good thing with this one, that you're able to sort of come all the way down low and then straighten your body. Whereas if you have a lower parallels, then you don't have the luxury to go deep enough to then straighten yourself up. So basically it requires more strength. So if you have these, it would be ideal. If you only have the small ones, you can stack up some plates and place your parallels onto those plates, so you create like an elevation, and then it would be pretty much the same thing. So let me show you this one. I like to hold these P-bars at the end, not on the side of it, but just close to the end, because as I start leaning forward, it's going to be kinder on my wrist. So remember, with that elbow lever, we're going to be leaning forward a lot, so that can put a lot of pressure on my wrist. If I'm here, it's okay, but if you're really limited with your wrist mobility, that can cause a little bit of pain. So that's why I personally like to hold it at the end of the bar. Okay, let's do this. Have this bar fairly close to each other, so it allows me to bring my elbows in. If they were too far apart, it would be really difficult to hold an elbow lever, because it would just slide off and it would become a 90-degree hold, which is great later on in our journey. But when we're starting now, have them close enough, not too close that it makes your handstand really difficult, but something like a shoulder width apart, maybe a little bit further out, would be perfect. Kick up to your handstand. Make sure you have a strong control and start leaning and straighten out. Whew. That is one hard skill, I tell you what. I've been practicing this for weeks, and then once when I just attempted the elbow lever, my elbow just slipped off to the side, and yet I was able to hold it for a couple of seconds, and then I realized, wow, I unlocked a new skill just by doing the elbow lever or at least a version of the elbow lever. So that's why I find that this progression on this exercise particularly is really important and really useful when it comes to learning the 90-degree hold. I'm sure there are other really good exercises too, but I have a big faith in this exercise. If you don't have these negatives yet, just practice the wall-assisted handstand push-ups and they're gonna build up your strength. Even if you can't press up just yet, if you practice the negatives, you can stack up some mats and eventually lower yourself down, lower and lower, until you're able to go all the way down into a headstand. Then it's going to give you the strength to do this exercise on those parallettes. As a little bonus, I like to give you one more exercise which I find it really useful, and that's a shoulder stand. If you don't know how to shoulder stand, once again, check out my video. I break it down step by step so you can learn it properly. And then pair that one up with your elbow lever. And that's basically practicing just the transition phase. If you don't have a strong negative yet, then maybe you can start with this one as well. Come down into your shoulder stand. And then from here, lean, keep your elbows in. And then come down. So just practicing that transition from that almost vertical position into your horizontal position. And that's it, guys. Hopefully this was helpful for you. It definitely helped me massively to unlock the 90-degree hold without actually practicing the 90-degree hold. You can of course try other progressions as well that you find useful. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but maybe try it and see how it feels, because it's a lot of fun to train the elbow lever and its progressions. Let me know in the comment below if you do like them and if they help you, and I'll make sure I keep posting more videos like this when I break down harder tutorials into a simpler, easier version.